Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. Ladies and gentlemen, the final event to end the Fortnite and Marvel crossover season is here on Tuesday. It's so close to the end. To get ready for this world-changing event, I've gone back through the last 14 weeks of updates to bring you a full recap of everything that happened. No spoilers, only facts. Please think about using code ADAMARU to support content like this. And now, sit your butt down for 10 minutes. Let's recap the Nexus War before Galactus attacks. Oh, quick question. What skin are you wearing to the event? It's tough to answer, isn't it? Bet you can't guess mine. Week 0! I know this is a strange place to start, but before the season officially began, a huge crater was spotted over by Salty Springs. Inside was our first proof of a Marvel invasion, Thor's hammer laying dormant. We tried in vain to lift Mjolnir. Damn it, I cannot say that word. Mjolnir. We tried in vain to lift it, but it was not to be. The comic book told us about the Devourer of Worlds, a giant being sent to gather powers to fight an even more evil force, the Black Winter, but that's a tale for another time. The power Galactus needs is held within 5 worlds, which he consumes without any thought of the inhabitants. But something happened in the vacuum of space. Galactus saw the power infinite held on the island. During the end, he saw the nexus point. Galactus was already on his way here. Luckily, Thor, the Herald of Thunder, accompanies Galactus and travelled ahead to warn us. But our island is stuck in a loop and Thor is attacked right away. As the fighting ends, Thor is unable to remember. He came to warn us about something. While his memory fades, Thor calls upon Lady Sif and the Bifrost to summon heroes to help. Earth's mightiest heroes arrive, each affected differently by the island. The question remains, will they be able to remember Galactus is coming and be prepared in time? Wow, that was more dramatic than I expected. Week 1! Our first day in the updated map saw some great changes. First are those scorch marks left around by the Bifrost. That's how the Battle Pass characters arrived here thanks to Thor. Here landed Doctor Doom, Wolverine, She-Hulk, Mystique, Storm, Groot, and the incredibly important Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. Nearby is a graveyard of Sentinels. These were anti-mutant robots the X-Men fought regularly. There's talk that these may come alive in the event, so maybe keep an eye on them. That would be cool, but right now, these bots have been decommissioned by Wolverine. The coolest update for me was the inclusion of 2 henchmen from Season 2. They returned without anyone to follow. These were found at the Authority and over in Retail Row. Up at Pleasant Park, Doctor Doom moved in and renovated the place with a castle-like home and a statue of himself. What kind of a person builds a statue of themselves? I'll tell you who, people who are making up for something. Victor may not be such a big man. Tony Stark, I can't say that. Can I say that? Can I say that? Is that offensive? Tony Stark, on the other hand, has set up a makeshift base in a disused farmhouse, and the key to the story is here, the objects around this place. Tony is hard at work creating beacons which will soon be used to bring parts of our world to the island. To do this, he's using shield technology, which can be found all around the island in Quinjet-like dropships guarded by bots. This tech powers those beacons. Next, over to Retail Row and the place She-Hulk calls home. Jennifer Walters' law offices made it over to the island. Who knew lawyers could be superheroes? I always thought they were the bad guys. Jennifer had a blood transfusion with the real Hulk, and that's why she turns green. And I hear that you won't like her when she gets angry. And remember, whilst all this is happening, a tiny dot in the sky appeared. That's Galactus. He's approaching. Little did we know, we still had 3 months to wait. Mini updates now. HUD Watch. It kept growing this season with a rail added to the edge. Wow. The Iron Man made of iron pipes and the Heyman met up on day 1 of the season to share a high five moment, which was beautiful. And the last thing we should remember about week 1 was the end of the Wobbly Blob story. Yeah, I like saying Wobbly Blob. You should try it, it's fun. Wobbly Blob. The Coral Buddies made a home during the previous season and evolved through human evolution. And on the day of season 4, the nuclear blast caused them to become half coral creature and half cyborg. They vanished a few days later, but we'll never forget those Wobbly Blobs. Week 2! This week, Tony Stark set up and switched on those completed beacons. For days we watched them grow in power, but more on that next week. 5 new POIs popped up during week 2. Ant-Man's Manor, a Trask transport related to the X-Men, and a touching tribute to Wakanda and Black Panther. This was also at a time when Chadwick Boseman passed away. Rest in peace, Chadwick. The 5th POI is a spot from the Marvel's Avengers video game, which came out a few months back. Nobody played that game except me. I quite like it, but I seem to be the only one. The addition of these POIs confirmed Tony Stark's temporal rifts were working, but not entirely to plan. What was certain though was that Earth's mightiest heroes were on their way here. We weren't stuck to the 6 in the Battle Pass. The introduction of PIM tech could also be very important for the event, as these vials here have the power to shrink us, but also the power to make us giants. Stark is planning something, and these places have importance. Hey, remember this update? The crane which was lifting a crane which was lifting a car which fell out of a garage on the cliff edge. Well, it fell down. Week 3! This week saw the introduction of Tony Stark's lab. Look at the size of this update. It's massive. The temporal beacons we saw activated last week have brought a whole chunk of upstate New York to the island. Stark Industries is the home to Iron Man's suits and all his tech, but it's the garage that should grab your attention. He has begun working on a new and improved battle bus for the impending fight with Galactus. So somehow Tony Stark has retained his memories somehow. I wonder how. The puddle of oil here will one day be replaced with our future. Also, the cabin from Avengers Endgame is here, complete with a secret Iron Man facility underneath. It's just like the movie, it's so good. On a scale of 1 to 3,000, how much do you love this? Is it still too soon to do I love you 3,000 jokes? This update saw the introduction of a slurp juice salesman attracting the genome community. His first public appearance ended in assassination. I checked on Graham, he's okay. I know you were worried for him. I was too. Hutwatch had additional chairs and pallets this week. The walls were renovated and a sick new archway included. Update on the Ghost and Shadow NPCs. They are now in a gas station cafe having a dance-off. This is how your mum and dad met, you know. True story. Camp Cod lost part of its POI this week. Turns out it was an error, and this was because something else was going to be added soon. It was something strange, and it was in your neighbourhood. But at this point, we didn't know who to call. Week 4 arrived. It's a weird update. The houses at Lazy Lake had been rotated. No idea why. A week later, this was rectified. And the basketball post at Sweaty Sands was stretched out. Again, I have no idea why. I think someone at Epic Games may have been drinking this week. I'm cool with that. The only other update this week saw a slight closer movement of the dude in the sky, reminding us Galactus is coming. Week 5! This week the bromance has evolved. The former foes are now taking a break at the hotel in Lazy Lake. This was the week you guys named these two, Bill and Ted. Good choice. The other subplot was the genome slurp juice micro narrative and the unveiling of this guy, an evil genome half cyborg thing. He was found in the basement of a disused ghost base and plotted to take out the island's gnome population. With the help of these bot things, we quickly revealed his plans to plant explosives on slurp juice containers and saved them all for our Lord and Saviour Graham the Gnome. Also, did you notice the extra hidden gnomes around the map? Gotta love the attention to detail. There was a change to one of the Marvel POIs this week. The Trask transport had been clawed open and someone had escaped. It was none other than Wolverine. He set up a new life in the woodlands, going back to his predatory roots and ruining anyone who faced him. Week 5 also saw a new store built over by the gas station near Holly Hedges, a superstore. It was a shell inside with nothing of note, but you all said it would be the new seasonal store, and you were right, but not just yet. Over at Hutwatch, a window was added. Whoop-diddy-scoopity-whoop. Week 6! Fortnite Battle Royale's birthday was this week. We ate cake. When week 7 arrived, Rocket League took over the Crane House. Miniature cars and trophies were found here, but only for one single week. There was also a really cool Rocket League car you could drive in-game. And the collector's stash from Guardians of the Galaxy randomly showed up on a snowy mountaintop. Week 8! Halloween arrived in Fortnite, and over the week, more and more houses caught the crypt bug and decorated appropriately. The update on the henchmen this week? They went to the dam. This was the first time it appeared as if they were searching for something, noticing something in the distance and actively walking towards it, only to be upset and walk back again. It was suggested they were looking for Midas. Well, they didn't have to wait long, because back at the Authority, where the Shadow Henchman once lived, the sacred gold chair returned, with a seat either side for the bros to sit. But wasn't Midas eaten by a shark? FYI, over at Hutwatch, the wood was varnished and a new floor was installed. Tiles. Being an adult is great. Other updates include a graffiti tag for the evil genome, which you guys named the Gnominator. I love that. More on him next week. Oh, and Galactus is now visible in the sky. He's close enough to Brofist. The event is approaching fast. Tony Stark continues to build buses and keeps evolving them each week. But will they be finished in time? On to week 9. Fortnitemares arrived. Everything became foggy and spoopy. Everyone joined in with more POIs than ever before, updating their decorations, thanks to the Superstore, which, as predicted, became the home of all things witchcraft. One area in particular was extra ghouls-some. At the northernmost point near Steamy Stacks, there are 3 houses on the cliff edge. These places were overrun by gargoyles with glowing eyes, preying on the gnome population. There was also an Easter egg here this year, the ghosts, rising up and floating away. The Authority was updated to the ruins this week, and look who returned. Undead Midas is here. Some sort of ritual around the golden chair brought him back, and now he guards the island with his henchmen, recruiting those who oppose him. The Halloween update saw real witches' huts added to the map. Again, only for a week or 2. We even had witches' brooms to ride. 'Twas fun. Over at Hutwatch, a layer of plaster was added. Yep, gripping stuff. The henchmen, or Bro Watch if you prefer, are now located up at Sweaty Sands. They also got into the Halloween spirit wearing pumpkin heads. They now dine out together, and their favourite spot is the taco stand. Oh, remember the evil genome? Well, this week, he met his comeuppance. We found him poisoning the slurp vats, and to clean them, we dipped our junk in them. Okay, then we confronted the bad guy. I don't think this ended how he expected. And finally this week, the update at Camp Cod finally happened to foreshadow the Ghostbusters arriving. The Ecto-1 hearse can be found hidden under a cloth in a barn. Striking the vehicle gave us the iconic siren sound, and for old people, that's a cool thing. Week 11 is here, and the map reset. All the Halloween shenanigans were gone. The air was clean again. The store near Holly Hedges closed down, and life continued. The henchmen are now found at Craggy Cliffs and are preparing for a backpacking vacation. They pick out their own tent and boat before going on an adventure. Hutwatch this week had the walls inside the building plastered. And up at Sweaty Sands, for 1 week only, the gas station was resized and downsized. Just for 7 days. It came back to normal. Next update. The Genome sub-story was concluded with the passing of the Genominator, whose rocket trip ended in failure, and a memorial to his dastardly life is now in place outside Slurpee. Make sure you pay your respects, because evil Genome lives matter too. Story-wise, the Galactus is another step closer. He's huge in the sky. I'm so hyped for this event. Iron Man is keeping 1 step ahead though with the battle bus plans. Just look at how sleek the battle bus is looking. Nice. Week 13 arrived, as did the new PS5 and Xbox Series X updates, which added new animations and lighting effects to the game, which were good. The best one is how bodies crumble after elimination. Awesome touch. The biggest thing though is Galactus this week. He's crazy close right now and set on the horizon, ready to attack any second. Days later, he swooped underneath the island, or at least we thought he was underneath. Meanwhile, Tony Stark finished his plan. 11 weeks in the making, and finally the battle bus is no longer an air balloon. It's a rocket-fueled, gamma-guzzling, Galactus-smashing weapon. It looks like we are now prepared for the battle to save our island. And I'm going to be honest right now, I'm going to fly one of these bad boys right up Galactus's Hutwatch! Another coat of varnish is being added. Remember when Hutwatch was cool? Yeah, not so much these days, rip. And one last update to the henchmen in Season 4, the bromance like no other. The brothers from other mothers are now found over on the east of the island, camping out. It's a chill time for them as they know Galactus is coming and this may be their last ever update. They sit and contemplate their lives. Be sure to sit with them one last time before the event. And right now, it's the final week, week 14, and Galactus is slowly reappearing on the island. He's currently snorkeling for a little me time before things get serious. His huge KFC bucket head rises slowly each day. This week, we also had the bus content confirmed. It is filled with gamma weaponry. Could the Hulk be coming to help us? Or is this Jennifer's input into the war efforts? The timer now sits above us on the helicarrier and the radio chatter there is growing with hints to Nick Fury and a secret weapon to be uncovered. But in terms of facts and updates, that was Season 4 in a nutshell. The battle to save the island starts on Tuesday and is promised to change the Fortnite world forever. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade, thank you for your time, and a special thank you to those who used code Adamaru this week. I really appreciate what you do for me. I'll see you all after the event.